Okay, welcome, Nicelle. Thank you so much for putting this together. And I'm going to turn it over to you just to, say hi to everyone, and then you can introduce who I am to you, explain why I'm here doing the talking.
Okay. So hey, Rudy, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry if you're like the only one here, but a lot of people actually said that they were gonna try to make it, but I guess they got busy or whatnot. So thank you for making it. April is my is it qualifying national marketing director.
Yeah.
So she's been like a mentor to me, and then Jessica is here also, and she's been also advising me, you know and I'm just so thankful that they're here to do this presentation for me and help me out, and they've just been a big help guiding me through this. So yeah.
Thank you, Nicelle. Yeah. Awesome. Well, it's been such a fun journey, just kind of hearing your story and learning more about health with you. And I am excited to be going into some great information that really did change my life 15 years ago. And I'll get more into that in a second. But this is an inspiring, healthy living presentation. And we're going to learn about one simple change that can make a world of difference. But we're also going to go into some scary statistics for a second. I always like to paint the scary picture first and then the good news at the end. But I really kind of call myself a mom on the mission because this information is stuff that people don't really know. And because it changed my life so drastically 15 years ago, I have a heart to get it out there to as many people as possible. And, I think a lot of us are aware, of some of the statistics in terms of, disease rates going up, but I don't know that people know how bad it is and why. So I'm going to go into that for a little bit, short but sweet, but I think it's really critical information to know. So 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer in his or her lifetime. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by 2050, and this is actually going to be very devastating to our national debt. And 1 in 5 children is obese. And that's scary because our children are more harmed by poor diet than exposure to drug, alcohol, and tobacco combined. And that's Dr. David Katz at Yale, and he heads up a prevention college there at Yale. And the other quote I heard from Dr. Katz is that this is the first generation of children to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents, and that's terrifying to me. And again, why I'm a mom on a mission, because these statistics are just getting worse, even though I feel like our focus on health is better. So why is this? Well, there are a lot of environmental toxins that are increasing. We've introduced things into the environment that we're only now just understanding the far-reaching effects of that. And some of those examples of pollution are things like the water contaminants, pesticides we didn't really understand how they would have leach into the water and be in our ecosystem kind of permanently. Prescriptions, a lot of people flushing prescriptions down, and now they're finding it in the groundwater, and trying to get it out of our drinking and municipal water. Over-the-counter drugs, chemicals, skincare products, they're starting to see a bunch of issues with skincare products and hair care products. And then plastics that are pervasive in our environment, even getting up into untouched areas of Alaska through salmon spawning. So definitely problems that we need to address. Unfortunately, our food quality is also decreasing. So more than 50% of Americans are eating processed foods, and they're full of things like flavor enhancers, preservatives, emulsifiers, synthetic vitamins, growth hormones, genetically modified organisms, less nutrition than when we were farming in our own backyards, right? Or growing gardens, I should say, in our own backyards. Pesticides, trans fats, and artificial colors. One little note on trans fats, I'm really excited about this because they're finding hardening of the arteries in even unborn babies because of trans fats, and the FDA is requiring that to be out of our food supply by, I think it's 2025, and that's very exciting. I think we're going to see some of these disease statistics going down because of that. And then just a note, broccoli could lose, and most produce, right? But broccoli, this is like a statistic, could lose 50 to 80% of its key nutrients before you even purchase it. And one of the statistics that reads in my head, and what I thought was fascinating, is like a green bean, for instance, loses all of its vitamin C within 24 hours of picking. And now because we're doing, factory farming and things are being trucked thousands of miles, some of the produce that we're getting is 2 weeks old or even older than that. So what's left from what we're getting in the grocery store? So, what we can do to be healthier, there's several ways that we can take charge of our own health. One, obviously, is to exercise. Everyone knows that. We need to be sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night minimum. I actually want to change that to like 8 to 9 hours. Most people need about 7.5 minimum to release, human growth hormone and do repair. We need to manage stress. We need to drink enough water. About half of our body weight in ounces is kind of a rule of thumb just for homeostasis. And then, if we're exercising or we drink alcohol or coffee, we need to drink a little bit more to compensate for those things. And then using safer home and body care products, that's a huge thing. And then eating real food. And one of the things we want to focus on today is that eating real food and what that really can do. So experts agree that most disease is preventable through good nutrition. And I really want to focus on fruits and vegetables because that's where all that micronutrition, and all the antioxidants come into play for our bodies. So the bad news is that oxidative stress causes aging and disease, and we see this in that Asian pear there. The lemon juice on the right-hand side protects it from browning on the left. So that antioxidant in that fruit basically protects the cells of that piece of fruit from oxidation, and it's very similar in our own bodies. So that's why the news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you, is that they're so good for you they could save your life. And this was in Time magazine in 2003. And the current recommendation, I was fascinated when I learned this, that we need 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. And athletes need even more because of the oxidative stress that they are doing to their bodies from working out. And that an athlete is by definition someone that works out an hour in any 24-hour period. And that recommendation is actually 16 to 18 servings. So it's quite a bit. And why so many? Well, because produce is picked before the nutrition fully develops, first of all, so it can withstand transport. You think about the green bananas, right? And then 90% of Americans really just aren't eating enough of those servings. Most, on average, is about 2.5 servings that people are getting. And then when we don't get enough variety from the rainbow, that's a problem as well. And I'll say even people that, eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, and if they're still, kind of suffering from creaky joints, being tired, different things, that's a sign that they need even more. So I'm going to address something here too, that a lot of times people take a multivitamin to bridge the gap between what they should be eating, what they're eating in reality. So 70% of Americans are trying to fill that gap. And a multivitamin is a few isolated vitamins. We actually have only discovered 13 vitamins, then handfuls of minerals, and then maybe some herbs, and like the most designer whole food supplement is a far cry from what's in an apple, which has 10,000 phytonutrients working together in synergy with those vitamin and minerals that are naturally occurring within it. So research shows that isolated vitamins do more harm than good, unfortunately, and that's in the Annals of Internal Medicine from December 2013. And I want to just give you this visual. So let's imagine this, this list that's, and even a whole food vitamin that's 50 ingredients at best, maybe that's still a far cry from what's in an apple. And this is the 400 of the known ingredients in an apple. And it would take about 26 pages of this to list everything on paper that's in an apple. So very interesting. Sorry, I'm playing around with that screen. Hopefully you guys can see as I move it around. So resources for healthy living. I just love that, inspiring healthy living, letting people kind of know that we have a lot of choices, and that, if we have things in our past, like, cancer in our family history, heart disease, that sort of thing, there's a lot we can do. And I love being a part of this healthy living revolution because we offer personalized support. We have fun health events in person and pre-COVID, but now we also have a great support online. We have accountability groups, educational tools, ebooks, and there's an incredible series of webinars through thehealthylivingrevolution.com that has hundreds of healthcare professionals that have volunteered their time and do all kinds of continuing education for us on this site. It's really amazing. So this is a free gift, and Nicelle will be sending that to everyone that attends tonight, because there's even a home fitness series that is amazing, and there's a Start Strong Kids program on this website as well. So I want to tell you my family story really fast and kind of why I'm here, what changed 15 years ago for me that made such a difference. This is my family. My husband is actually special forces and he really puts his body to the test, definitely an athlete. And he was really in his 30s, already starting to notice kind of the breakdown and overuse injuries, basically. So I watched him struggle, really started getting into nutrition and wanting to help him, last through his career. And then when my son was 1, there on the right, he was really showing some early signs of autism, and I was very concerned for him. So again, looking into nutrition, I actually Googled a specialist. I flew my son to Baton Rouge. I was, like I said, very concerned, but I also didn't want to just throw a medication at it. I knew that the nutrition could help him, but I also knew that I needed to know more about it and get some good guidance. So I found a doctor who was a specialist, and she had her MD, her naturopathic degree, and her degree in physical chemistry, so 3 doctorates. And she very enthusiastically shared a product in a simple solution with us that really showed huge promise. She had seen amazing things in her practice, but I automatically thought about my husband back home, and one of the things that she shared with us was a product called Juice Plus. So I'm going to get into that, and I'll share a little bit more about our story since. Actually, sorry, ladies, I'm going to back up. I'm going to fast forward and then come back to this because I'd like you guys to share your story as well. So Juice Plus is the nutrition from over 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries. It's whole food and it's harvested at that peak of ripeness, so that nutrition is intact. The produce is actually pulverized and it's dried into powders at low temperatures to preserve the nutrition. The plant powders are put into capsules or delicious chewables, and we also have a full spectrum omega blend that's rich in omega-rich algae, berries, and the oil from berries and seeds also. So this is an incredible one-of-a-kind omega that is cold pressed and never heated. So flash forward, we added Juice Plus to my son's diet, and it was pretty incredible that within a couple of months, I saw things like he was making more eye contact. He was starting to try to communicate again. He started reaching for foods he never would have touched before. Like he ate a whole tomato, and I about fell on the floor because he kind of was that beige diet kid. I would sneak things in like spaghetti sauce or different things, the things that he would accept. But he really never would have touched a tomato, honestly, just because of the seeds and the texture would have weirded him out. And he gobbled it up and asked for more. Like his body was just completely shifting what it craved. And then for me, I noticed things like I had more energy. I wasn't suffering from migraines as much. And my husband kind of waited in the wings going, oh, that's neat, but I'll just eat my food, right? Well, within a few months, he kept seeing us getting more energy, being able to, do things that we weren't doing before. For me, it was exercise. I was just always exhausted. I started exercising. He was like, well, maybe I'll take a look at that. So he joined us in taking Juice Plus. And I like to say that he went from skeptic to evangelist because he started noticing shoulder injuries that were just not healing, going back to normal. His recovery times were cutting in half. And he started, almost kind of having a new lease on life. And today he's about to be 50. He's still active, and he's serving over in Afghanistan right now. And physically, he has not struggled the way he started struggling in his 30s. So it's been a huge gift there. It's also wonderful to see my son, who's 16. He's in normal school. He's totally functional. He's not suffering from any of the things that kind of I imagine his picture would be like, and is one of my best eaters. I have 2 other little girls since adding Juice Plus, and it's just been such a blessing to our lives. So I want to back up for a second and invite Nicelle to share her story, and Jess really quick as well. So Nicelle, I'm going to let you go first. Oh, you're muted, hun. Let me unmute you. Or you're going to have to, go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
You're
so
fine.
I found out about Juice Plus from Jessica here. And, it really made sense to me because I found out I was nowhere near getting the recommended 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. And then also what fascinated me about it the most was, all the valid research behind it. And since taking Juice Plus, my energy levels have increased. My constipation has slowly, gone away and been resolved. And the most thing, or the one that I'm most excited about, sorry, was, I gradually lost my cravings, my super strong cravings for junk food, because before I used to love chips and sweets and especially ice cream after dinner. And then, it didn't just stop with me. My family also gained benefits as well, starting with Mark. So, Mark, he's his godfather, actually, one of his
Oh, neat.
godfathers. So, so he's been struggling with eczema since he was a baby. And, I really felt bad about that. And he even has scars to prove it on his arms, and that's from the itching getting so bad that he's, scratching himself to that point. And 2 weeks in, using Juice Plus, Mark reported to me, "Mom, I have smoother skin now, like, because before he had alligator-like skin too. And then no more itching, Mom. Like, I don't have to use the Renew lotion." And your Renew lotion, we used to use before, because it has melaleuca and stuff like that. But he's not using that anymore because he doesn't need it. And it didn't just stop with Mark. Mike also, my husband, who I had, on the Juice Plus as well. He was telling me that, he used to take Red Bull at work to help with his energy levels midday, but now he no longer is taking that since the Juice Plus, and his constipation also has resolved. He's become more regular. And, I was so excited about sharing it with, everybody I know, that I figured out, I might as well join to offset the cost, because I'm going to be sharing it with people anyway. So, I'm just excited about our journey with the Juice Plus. And I mean, it's only been a month. So, I'm excited to see what else other benefits we'll see, later down the line. So
That's so exciting. Awesome. And I'm going to turn it over to Jess, who I met through actually a mama's group when I lived in Vegas. I live in Washington State now. And I just want to share, I want her to share her story and a little bit about why she's here with us today as well, sharing with others.
Thank you, April. So yeah, gosh, what was it now? 5.5 years ago, April saw that I needed Juice Plus. And I was sick all the time. It was a normal thing for me, unfortunately. And I ended up in the hospital shortly after I met her. And because my body had just pretty much said, I'm done. And I had such bad inflammation in my joints, and I became septic and could no longer walk. I couldn't feel anything from the waist down. Ended up in the hospital, of course, for about a day. They couldn't figure out what was going on. And then they ended up calling me and telling me it looked something like rheumatoid arthritis. I never ended up going back because April came to the hospital, or came to my house.
Repeat this at home, kids. Yeah.
With her little cooler full of Juice Plus and shakes and all this other stuff. And my mom was trying to feed me fast food, and she's like, "Oh no, she can't have that." And it was quite fun. It's fun now to think about it, but
I looked crazy to her at the time.
Yeah. At that time I was traumatized by what was going on. Didn't know what was going to happen to me. Is very scary, obviously. But in the hospital, they were telling me, "I'm sorry, you're just going to have to give up the fact that you're nursing your infant child. You have to take this medication." My mom thought I was absolutely insane that I was saying, no, there's got to be a better way. But I just knew that there was, and I at least wanted to try. And so I never ended up going back. So I don't really know exactly what that was going to look like, or, if I went down that path. But I ended up taking extra Juice Plus and just fueling my body with good fruits and vegetables. And like I said, 5.5 years now, I have not been back to the doctors once, and I was always in and out of the hospital with a broken down immune system. So that's been a huge blessing all in itself right there. I am a forever lifer Juice Pluser because of that. But then, a lot like Nicelle's story, my son, Caleb, he's now almost 7 years old. He had alligator skin, very, very rough, just to the touch, felt like scabs all over his body, and especially in certain, normal eczema areas. And once he started taking Juice Plus, it pretty much almost 100% went away. There were still a couple places that took a little bit longer of a time. And that was crazy, huge, right? My daughter, she's now, oh goodness, almost 18. And she was always having fainting spells. So she hasn't had not one fainting spell in 4 years. So that's huge. She used to have at least 2 a year for about 4 to 5 years. Let's see, that's a lot on itself, right? So and then as far as sharing it, it just came natural to me, especially because not only did it make a huge difference in my life, but also because I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. That is still my heart's cry. I don't know why. I just know it's my calling. I know I'm meant to be here. And for me to be able to like go to a coffee shop on a little bit on a Saturday, or do a little bit here and there with Nicelle or anyone on my team, is just such a blessing that I can be here with my kids. And April knew that about me. The group that she met me in is called Las Vegas Stay-at-Home Breastfeeding Mamas. So I was just, I wanted it so bad. I'd never had that in my life. And I'm just so thankful that still to this day, now 5.5 years later, it's just been the biggest blessing for our family, for sure. I think that's good.
I love it. Thank you. I know you have so much other, experience that you can share, for sure. It's hard not, we want to, in the interest of time, we will tell you a little bit about what Juice Plus is and give you some options. So I love that Juice Plus is just a concentrated nutrition, like we said, of 30 different fruits, veggies, and berries. And, that's a far cry from what we typically are getting in. And then the omegas, like we said before, is just such an amazing plant-based omega. It's pure, sustainable, full spectrum omegas, cold pressed, and it's a vegan capsule. There's even a little tiny nitrogen bubble that keeps the omegas from rancidifying. So it's a very unique omega. And then there's a complete shake that's amazing nutrition. It also has 15 other plants on top of it. So if you did the combination, you'd be getting 45 plants in your diet every single day. Wonderful ingredients like broccoli sprouts, ancient grains, and so on and so forth. There is, I will mention, water wash soy. It is from the largest non-genetically modified soy field in the world. It's very protected, and it is low processed. So it actually has a protective effect for things like, male and female cancers. So that's an incredible tool as well. And I like this slide because some people are like, well, this is what I eat on the left and this is what I should be eating. I honestly was eating on the right. I was eating a lot of different whole foods, and yet I was still struggling from migraines, and I had cystic acne and other things that were just what's going on for me. And it turns out my body just needed more and more nutrition to get up in front of that. So everybody needs, different, I would say, different nutrition depending on what their body has been exposed to or what it's facing. So I love that Juice Plus is food. It's just added food. It has a food label, not a supplement label, and it's all non-GMO, vegan, kosher, gluten and dairy free. It's also NSF certified. It's a third-party company that just randomly comes into Juice Plus, pulls batches and tests it to make sure that what's on the label is in the product. You would be shocked at how few actually pass that test. There's also no banned substances, and then it's also NSF certified for sport. Even Olympic athletes can take this product. And I should mention that only 1% of supplements actually pass NSF. So it's a very pure product. It's even tested for things like heavy metals, molds, bacteria, all pharmaceuticals, pesticides, herbicides, the list is long. And then it is the most researched nutritional product in the world now at this point, over 40 studies. And they are the gold standard studies. So they are randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, tested the product on humans, the product itself, not just like vitamin C is good for you, and here's the research on vitamin C. It's actually Juice Plus against a placebo, which is the gold standard, and published and peer-reviewed. And so I love that. And a long list of universities and research institutions have studied Juice Plus. And I love things like, you're known by the company you keep. So places like Yale, Georgetown, King's College, MD Anderson Cancer Research Center. I mean, the list is long. And I love that there's a wide variety. First of all, it's even been studied in children, pregnancy, elderly, a wide variety of different ages, a wide variety of countries. And I love that we have seen that it contributes to cardiovascular wellness. I'll tell you a quick story with my husband. He has a large cheese pizza habit and an ice cream habit, or I should say he did. And he would always cite this study. So there's a study done on Juice Plus and how it affects the brachial artery after eating a high-fat meal. So they actually took these participants, fed them a high-fat meal. It was 50 grams of fat, and it constricted the artery by 60% and lasted for up to 6 hours. And then after only 28 days of taking Juice Plus, they brought those same people back in, fed them that same meal, and the Juice Plus group, really interestingly enough, had not taken their Juice Plus that morning. This is a protective effect that had built up over 28 days. The red and green group, just taking the berry and the vegetable blend, only had 16% constriction in that artery versus 60. And the red, green, and purple, so fruit, veggie, and berry blend participants, had almost no constriction at all, as if it had basically protected the artery from that high fat meal. So that was pretty incredible. And of course the placebo group had the same 60% constriction. So sometimes when my husband I hear him like, hey Tracy, large cheese pizza, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, that's okay, I've taken my Juice Plus in my vineyard. And again, it's rare that he kind of eats off the path anymore, but I love that even when you're not a perfect eater, there's great support. So it also supports healthy inflammatory response, supports quality of life, supports healthy cholesterol, and LDL, not only LDL, but triglyceride metabolism, supports healthy lung function. In smokers, they actually looked at it in smokers. There's one study on smokers. Supports healthy skin and gums, supports the immune system. This is incredible, actually balance the immune system. Not only does it bring up the natural killer cells and the T cells, but it brings the B cells back into balance. And autoimmune issues are exponentially on the rise. So this is such hope for people. Balances that immune system within 80 days. So it's actually very quick. And then helps maintain healthy DNA, reduces oxidative stress, and is absorbed by the body. That's like, baseline, right? But even there's so many supplements that don't even get into the bloodstream. And I think it's over 20 of the studies now prove that. So very, very exciting research. If you're a nerd like me, there's lots of great links for that. And then the Children's Health, it's now called the Healthy Starts for Families. It used to be called the Children's Health Study. It was the largest longitudinal study of its kind with over 1.5 million participants. They now have enough research, and so they just continue to give Juice Plus away free for kids, and they just call it the Healthy Starts for Families. So kids between the ages of 4 and 18, even full-time undergraduate college students, can receive Juice Plus for 4 years for free with a paying adult sponsor. So this is an incredible program that makes it affordable for families. So after just kind of the research that they saw, parents and children reported that 60% were missing fewer days of school, 56% were taking fewer over-the-counter or prescription drugs, 71% were drinking more water, 66% were visiting the doctor less, and 71% were consuming less fast food and soft drinks. And I saw this again in my kids and my husband as well. He used to have a Wendy's habit after work, and one day he came home and he said it didn't taste good and that I had ruined him. So that was awesome too. And then 61% were eating more fruits and vegetables. Again, what I saw with my son, craving more good foods. And that Nicelle has seen that as well in this short amount of time. So there's also a Tower Gardens for those people that are getting enough fruits and vegetables and they really want to grow it themselves. That we have an awesome option there as well. You can grow your own produce in your house or on your patio. There's 98% less water used in the Tower Garden, 90% less space used, and there's a 30% more yield, and it grows 3 times faster because it is an aeroponic growing system with just the most amazing nutrition. So this is really exciting, and it's actually also been researched at one of the largest agricultural colleges in the US, and the nutrition is equivalent to even the best organic soil-grown produce. So that's super exciting. There's also an incredible Shred 10 program that's a great jumpstart for your health. There's 10 guidelines that you follow. There's group coaching offered, free e-resources, cookbooks, and really nice support and fun for anyone that really needs like a program. I will say I just started with the red and green capsules, honestly, myself. The doctor that recommended it to me so many years ago actually didn't share the vineyard with me. I'm not sure why. And I just, that was my simple start. And then I got to kind of snowball from one thing to the next. But I noticed right away that I didn't feel the need to do this kind of yo-yo dieting that I used to be kind of trapped in. I would sort of, feel the battle of the bulge and then exercise and get really good on my diet, lose the weight. And then as soon as I slipped a little bit, it's like the weight came back and then some. And that's because I wasn't really going after the problem. And really, it's toxins that our body holds on to protect our vital organs from our our fat cells hold on to toxins to protect our vital organs. And it's a really healthy thing. Actually, the most unhealthy person on this slide is this person in the middle. We call it skinny fat. And they are in danger of things like autoimmune disorders, cancers, other things, because those fat cells are not protecting them from those toxins. So when you can naturally shed toxins through enough plant material, then your body doesn't have that need for that excess fat. And I noticed this just in my journey over the first few months with Juice Plus, that I was just naturally shedding excess weight, and it hasn't come back since. So I haven't had to do this kind of yo-yo diet thing that you see on the top here. But our Shred 10 program really teaches about that, and there's great support in there as well. Not everybody needs that, and like I said, for us, it was just adding the capsules, which are only about $2.50 a day. That's less than a kind of designer cup of coffee for 30 different fruits, veggies, and berries. And then free for kids, you can get capsules or gummies for kids. You can even take the gummies as adults as well, depending on what your preference is. And then the shakes are about $2.33 a serving, and the omegas are about $1 a day. So very affordable to get really great nutrition. And actually, this is the Canadian prices, so I forgot to remove that slide. But this is where we want to just kind of pause and say thank you so much for joining. And really, if you're watching the recording and this is all the information that you're interested in, please get back to Nicelle. Let her know kind of what interests you and what really helped you kind of understand more about Juice Plus or any of the things that we can do health-wise, and she's going to share that free resource. If you're thinking about your mom, your sister, someone else that needs this information that this might be a great tool for, I'd love to just invite you to stay for the next 5 minutes and really learn a little bit about the company behind Juice Plus and kind of what we do as partners. So I would love to just share my business story really quick with you. So I was this excited customer, and I was a busy restaurant owner. I really didn't have time for something else. And I even didn't really know how to reorder. The doctor that recommended it to us was kind of new, I think, to sharing it, as a business. And she more just had a huge heart for people. And she sold it out of her practice, and I didn't know where to get it next when we ran out. So I actually ordered on juiceplus.com for 4.5 years. And that's an option for anyone here. I know Nicelle's heart is so sweet, and she just wants people to know about it because she's had such a great result. So I always say, as a mission-hearted person myself, you're welcome to order online. You'll get assigned a random rep. You can order through someone like Nicelle, and she's going to be amazing at taking care of people because she's such a sweetheart. Or you can join and offset your costs as well, and that's the choice that she made. So when I learned that it was something that was more direct sales, and again, I was like, oh, I don't have time for that. My friend Michelle was very, very sweet, and just took great care of my customers, or people that I was referring to her. And finally, after about a year, said, you've got so many people that are having great experiences. You really should take a look at this and what we do. And so I'm going to share a little bit about this company that has been blowing my mind now for the last 10 years because it has such a sweet mission. So since 1970, the mission has been to inspire healthy living around the world and to build a stable and lasting company that helps as many people as possible realize their dreams. And this is Jay Martin, the founder. I love the core beliefs. The Juice Plus company has evolved into a highly profitable business and stable business, and their core beliefs are things like longevity, authenticity, quality, communication, community, simplicity, and approachability. I'm having a hard time with communication right now, just kidding. So again, the product is super unique. We went into some of the different things like having that food label, that NSF certification, that incredible research. And because of that incredible research, we have thousands of doctors that share Juice Plus within their practices. It's also the largest selling nutritional product of its kind in the whole world. And it's free for kids. And I love that they have that heart to really help kids. The mission is really unique. The company was founded in 1970. It's in over 20 countries. It's part of the wellness industry, and it has done $15 billion in sales since its inception, and it's privately held and debt free. So that allows the company to make some incredible choices for partners, for customers. In fact, they continue to get Juice Plus to people in places like when Hurricane Katrina happened and different things. They have incredible resources that they just want to help people. So it's only $52 a year to be a rep, and you get to save over that on your own order. And then you can work really from anywhere. It's a small focused product line. It's a consumable product. And again, there's that residual income that comes from that consumable product line. You can work part-time or full-time. There's no inventory held by you. It's all directly shipped from the company. There's low overhead. The business website offers incredible support, and you get 2 websites as well. You get a Tower Garden website and a Juice Plus website. Commission levels are always permanent. This is not a traditional MLM. It's actually a franchise that you own. There's no glass ceiling. And I love that in the upper leadership levels, we get business investment incentives and benefits, a huge benefits package. And I want to talk a little bit about that really quick. So with that benefits package, you get full medical, full dental and vision, life insurance, long-term disability, chiropractic care, a family tuition reimbursement for up to 5 members of your household towards college, a monthly expense allowance, and they just added long-term care coverage. So like for if you needed to end up in a nursing home or something. This is also willable to your children. You can pass this on. So it is a truly unique business. All of the qualities of this top business opportunity are things like, a name brand product, a tried and proven system. You do build a network of people that you share with, but you get to do that home-based, and it's, really truly consumer to consumer. You've got all those the websites to just be online if you want. Working it in stolen moments. That benefits package, like I said, is a huge blessing for my family. We have a great technology infrastructure, business support center, and then mentoring. And I love that the Juice Plus company gives back. They're one of the largest supporters of the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. They are a huge supporter of the Boys and Girls Club, not only gifting a Tower Garden to every Boys and Girls Club across America, but they also have a technical college that they have started for kids that no longer qualify for the Boys and Girls Club but don't go on to college. They also support the Volunteers of America and Children's Hunger Fund. So I love that when we share, we're changing lives, not only just giving people health options, but even wealth options, which is amazing. And I think, I love to just kind of share as I live life, and I do share on social media, but that's optional as well. And then I love that I get to share education, just sharing a video from a doctor talking about brain health. I always say that I'm a gut health nerd. There's incredible resources for, any kind of issue that we're struggling with, heart disease, hormones, all of those things are within our library. And again, they're not this like pushy sales thing. It's more a gift of education. And if Juice Plus makes sense to people, great, but we are not in the business of convincing people. We just want to gift people. And the amount of Juice Plus earnings that we earn is a direct reflection of the number of people that we're helping. So I love that, it fits a lot of different needs. So whether or not people are looking for community, we have an incredible community that really is caring and like-minded. Some people are just great connectors. They were going to share anyway. And that's definitely Nicelle's story. And then some people really want something that's stable, maybe a plan B. It was our plan B that became my plan A. It's my primary income now. And I loved that in the beginning, I could share with people like Jess that just wanted a way to stay home with their children. I shared actually, I was concerned with her for her physically, but then her husband had just lost her job too, and they needed options. And then some people want a new career. They literally are looking for something new to do. And we have 3 of the things that people need right now. We have immune support, a way to grow our own food, and a way to make money from home. So I think it's such a huge blessing. So we really just invite you to join us to inspire healthy living around the world if that's something that makes sense to you, or somebody that's looking for something like this. Whether you want to make a difference, make a car payment, enjoy more time and financial options, or to give back. And we do have a lot of upcoming events. Again, everything is online now. We used to do, fun meal prep parties and things like that. We're kind of figuring out what new life looks like these days, but we do have some great events online. So thank you so much for your time. And I'm excited to, take any questions. I'm going to stop the recording here. Any questions I'm happy to answer live right now.